Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has a lot to answer for because the fraud scandal rocking his state is getting worse by the day. A top prosecutor is suggesting that the total amount of fraud in Minnesota could be $9 billion or more. 6 new indictments and 1 guilty plea were announced yesterday as federal agents executed a search warrant on Ultimate Home Health Services, a Somali-owned home care agency. Here's the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota on those charges. Watch.
The magnitude of the fraud in Minnesota cannot be overstated. It's staggering amounts of money that have been lost. But it's not just about the money that's been stolen and wasted. This is a problem that's caused all of us to question what kind of state we live in. I think it's eroded our sense of collective statewide self-esteem and confidence.
Just how easy was it to game the system under Tim Walz? Prosecutors also charging 2 fraud tourists who allegedly traveled to Minnesota after a friend told them state programs were, quote, a good opportunity to make money. Governor Tim Walz claims he's taking accountability, but then deflects to trash Trump.
It's very clear the entire federal government is weaponized against Minnesota. And the issues of things that should be states' rights, states to control, they're threatening us with this. And this is what happens when you have a floundering presidency, and it is about those ballrooms. You didn't hear it the other night in a presidential address. This is on my watch. I am accountable for this. And more importantly, I am the one that will fix it. They're not interested in that, so they throw about these numbers.
Jesse, floundering, the only floundering happening is that state's budget. And that governor, what is he talking about?
Wait, so it happened under his watch, and so he's going to fix it? Usually that's not how it works. So the fraud started in 2018. He started as governor in 2018. And $9 billion is gone. It's just gone. It's just gone. And so his budget's $66 billion, and $9 billion went poof, and he didn't notice? That's like more than 10% of your budget. And he had no idea. And this is who Kamala chose to be the second in line for the presidency. She's an idiot. He's an idiot. And the fact that he's blaming Trump tells you everything you need to know about the Democratic Party. It's never their fault when people steal our money. It's your fault for finding out. And not only did they steal it and use it to live like a quiet lifestyle, they bought bling. They bought Porsches. They wired it to Mogadishu. Maybe it wound up in the terrorist pocket. We don't know. That'll be investigated. One guy spent $150,000 on crypto and then just flew to Amsterdam and disappeared. This is so disgusting, and it shows such a lack of respect for the hardworking men and women of this country who look at their paychecks. Half the paycheck's gone anyway, and then the stuff we do give to the government is just gone. So what do we get? We get nothing. We just get debt.
That's the thing. It's not refundable to the taxpayers.
No.
He doesn't have to pay anything back, but those people in Minnesota, that was their money, and they can't get it back.
Well, don't worry about it because Tim Walz is on the job. Thanks for bringing it to his attention. He's going to figure it out now because it's been in the shadows for the entire time he's been governor. There's been nothing but corruption. And for some reason, the leakers were just really good at not saying anything. How do you not resign? This has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. If I was in charge of the Girl Scouts for my daughters to go to, and under my watch, under the Girl Scout cookies, I found out, or it was found out or alleged that $9 billion in cookie funds was wrongfully used and frauded, I would step down for just sheer embarrassment. 9 boxes of cookies come up missing, I would probably step down. Also, I'd probably be under investigation. Those s'mores are delicious. But I digress. The point is they're targeting us. Yeah, they should be. Somebody stole $9 billion. They should be targeting you. The federal government's coming after us. Yeah, that's what happens when you're a governor and your city's $9 billion. This isn't even like a bad Austin Powers movie. $9 billion, just random $9 billion is missing. And Tim, and listen, I don't think he had his hands in the tilt. He's not smart enough for that. Yeah. I think these guys, they keep him in the shadows because he is what he is. He talks about stuff and tampons instead of checking everybody's wallet for stuff, stolen tax funds. It's pathetic.
Jessica, so after Jesse dies, he's going to have an autopsy to determine
what's happening
the brain
up there.
But I feel like after Tim Walz dies, we are going to learn from the autopsy that he has no spine. And it's amusing to me if it weren't for such a terrible, reprehensible impact on those hardworking men and women of Minnesota, that people cried racism when they actually did start investigating. It's, oh gosh, hot potato. And everyone just stopped investigating the loss of $9 billion because there was a certain skin color that they assumed was involved.
Well, the people who were stealing from Minnesota put in ink that they were going to say it was racism. I mean, there are emails that the New York Times had where they said, oh, well, if you reject our request for this or like working with us, we're going to say that it's racism. And I feel like you should pick up the phone and make the call if you're going to be saying something like that. I didn't know that fraud terrorism was a thing. And it is appalling. I've said this before, like to take advantage, especially during COVID, when so many people are dying, scared for their lives, kids aren't getting to go to schools, businesses are closing on a daily basis from small to big, just so deeply un-American and disgusting. This investigation, it started in 2022. Questions, obviously, about the vetting process for vice president. I understand, and she spoke about this in her book, that she went with the person she felt most comfortable with. I'm surprised that there wasn't more swirl about this since it was opened a couple of years ago. There has been there's an independent audit going on that Tim Walz started in October that's reviewing 14 programs, but it feels like it has to be more. And then we have to look at all states. I have no idea if this is going on all over the place.
It
need that money.
It absolutely is.
Washington State, everywhere else where there's huge pockets of this. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, it's funny. Tampon Tim brought up the ballroom. That's something he doesn't have to worry about, does he? Listen, we wore a uniform at the same time, but we certainly didn't fight the same war because he was too chicken stuffed to go with his unit. He cowered us out, and I'll never forget that or not bring it up. Just like if we talked about Blumenthal, he's a liar and stolen valor. That's just the truth behind some of these politicians. When it comes to this specific issue, listen, I mean, you don't have to ask the 75th Ranger Regiment if anything good comes from Somalia. They lived it. Well, I don't know why we're importing Somalis into this country to take advantage of us this way. I don't understand. We want the best and brightest, and those people could exist anywhere. But when a country's been nothing but a thorn in everyone's side, maybe, hit it with some white gloves for a minute and make sure that you're actually vetting and bringing good people here, not some diversity visa lottery or, hey, this country, was war-torn and we put our finger in there and we shouldn't have, so out of guilt, we're going to bring half of them here. That doesn't work anymore. This is another example of it. I'm not being racist. I'd feel the same way about half of England. I don't like any of those people. It's not about that. It's about the fact that
the Scots.
It's about the fact that when you go somewhere and people parade your dead around, when there's organizations that exist in these countries that are so evil, and this isn't just Somalia, this is Afghanistan, this is places all over the Middle East and in Africa, and I'm sure plenty of other places, you don't start importing those people haphazardly, even if you're vetting them. That's just not a good thing to do. And we're still sitting here going, they're taking advantage of it. It's not just $9 billion. Thompson said it was upwards of $18 billion perhaps. And it's not just Minnesota money. It's our money too. It's Medicaid. It's matched by the federal government. So this is a big deal. And Tim Walz is what? He's the useful idiot. That's his defense. This guy wanted to be the vice president of the United States, and his best defense is he was too bad at his job to know about it. Spare me. I mean, why isn't he resigning? Because guilty people don't want to resign. They don't want to show it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.